Um, Hello, everyone. We will start. We are on time. I think it's a good to it would be good to start. Thanks, everyone, for joining. And I think this is one of the very unique discussion. As a roundtable around this topic. While we wait for everybody to settle, it's fine. Okay. Okay. Great. So I'll do a quick introduction on what we are intending to discuss. The central point of this is that probably in the considering the Delhi's air pollution and the contribution of waste burning, we know very less about this, and there is a very the whole idea of waste burning within the municipal areas, within the urban development agglomeration areas, how much is it happening and how it is affecting the air quality and what can be done about it. So this whole is something seems to be a, a science which is still emerging, and and it is a very great thing that CAQM and other agencies has already identified that waste burning is one of the major challenge and it just need to be addressed. So this discussion is around how to brainstorm around all the stakeholders who are already working around this to bring together our ideas on how to understand the problem, how to define it, how to put some evidence in it, and then think about how to solve this. And some of the most the solutions are coming from a point of view that they are highly trivial because it is addressing multiple aspects of infrastructure, behavior, and so on. So from our studies, what we have been the climate, not only the climate point of view, but in the clean air point of view, some of the studies what WR India has been doing around the cities where we are working, we find that there is a if you study the reasons for waste burning, why it is exactly happening, there is always a combination of reasons, such as, say, there are some infrastructure gaps, there are some contractual gaps, there are some supervision gaps, there are some behavior uh, gaps. There is also issues around a large amount of awareness problem. So if we think about all of this, how do we really think about changing these kind of behaviors in a right way, and how do we enable this? That's one of the main thing which we are trying to discuss. And municipal corporations have been doing on top of managing this. There's been whole lot of work has been happening. Swachh Bharat Mission has been a big activities, level of activities are happening. How do we understand waste burning within this? So waste burning, if the people are dumping waste in an open area, it is highly likely that at some point somebody is going to come and burn it. While waiting for the whole solid waste system to improve and the change to happen, we need to stop the burning at that. The very act of burning need to be stopped immediately, because this peak season, how do we reduce the air pollution? That is our biggest challenge. City governments are really grappling this thing of how do we control this kind of act of burning in the open areas. So today we will discuss quite a across these various topics, people who are been working on this in the field, and people who are all the leaders in their own ways in managing this. Thanks everyone for joining around this. So now I will request Sanjar to make a quick presentation on some of just to set the context on what all we have been doing. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, this is about the Akash. The Akash, this is a project under which we are working for 10 cities. Hello. Hello. So this is for the ACAS, the Accelerator for Clean Air Action, under which we are working in 10 city. And out of this 10 city, we are working for 6-7 city for the waste burning. So this is overall creation of this Akash. So first I'll start with what is waste burning. So waste burning is not purely the biomass burning. Basically, people most of the time think that we are burning wood, we are burning this crop residue. It's a waste. No, waste are the plastic, the refuse that we are burning. Plastic, the dry waste, garden waste, that is the waste burning, and it is different from the biomass burning. Then other is that if you see the emission of waste burning of PM 2.5 and PM 10 from these different cities by the different years and different status, you can see up to around 10% of emissions of PM 2.5, like 9.6% of the overall PM emissions is in the Bangalore is from the waste burning. It's a CS step study 2022. And if you see for the Kolkata, it is 6.7% of PM 2.5. For Delhi NCR, it is for the older study, no new study is done. For Kanpur, it is 4.1%. Surat, it is 3%. So moving forward, why this is the need of the study? So basically there are 4-5 points. One, in the globally, we ranked second in the waste burning based on the study done it. And in India, almost 74 teragram year per year, which is around 35% of waste being burned every year based on the study. It includes the overall India, rural area also. Most of the time our focus is on the city, not the rural area, but the rural part is very large. So it's around 35%. And if we don't do any implementation for the stopping this waste burning, this become the major source of air pollution by 2035. Also, if you talk about the data, we don't have any data available for the city where the waste burning is happening, what is the frequency, which socioeconomic status is burning, uh, what are their exposure level. In Indian city, you don't find this type of data. So that is very important to understand. For now, waste, we have this much of generation is happening, this much of something is happening, but for the waste burning, we don't find it. So this is the methodology that we following. I'm not going into the methodology, but this methodology, the advantage of this Nagpur et al. Transit walk methodology is you can basically estimate how much burning is happening, which is missing in most of the places, in most of the study. Most of the time people do based on the assumptions कि भैया इतना percentage of burn हो रहा है 3% 4%, but from this methodology we actually estimate how much is burden, and this is very less certain. These are the 6 cities in which we are working. We started in Ahmedabad also, Baroda, Surat. We first started from Surat in 2019, then Indore in 2021, then Baroda, then we started in Gorakhpur and Agra simultaneously, then Gurugram, and now in Ahmedabad. So we are currently working for 6 cities in the waste burning. And these are some of the data sets, how much the city's population area, what are the surveys we have done, how much waste burning incidents we find, how much it's burning, everything it is mentioned here. For all the city, I'm not going into the detail. This is for the Indore example. The last report, which is a strategy report, probably it will be published within 1 and 2 weeks. It was stuck because of this USAID thing, but now it is there. These are the photographs of Indore. We did this study. This is for the Gorakhpur city. So recently Gorakhpur has declared themselves as a zero open waste burning city by 2027, and CM has already announced it on that day. And we have done this a lot of focus group discussion, field visits with various experts to make this happen. This is the waste characterization study, which also we did for the waste for the Gorakhpur. This is for the Agra. In Agra, we are also partnering with the Agra Municipal Corporation and working very closely with them. And we have done a lot of capacity building, a lot of targeted oriented things. We have done a lot of work around the composting in the society to reduce the waste burning. And for the shoe waste and the PETA waste, we are also working in the city. This report is also about to publish. Let's see when it's published. This is for the Surat. The Surat is a very classic example because we started in 2019 and we prepared the Surat Clean Air Action Plan. And after that, we have suggested so much of implementation for curbing the waste burning. And SMC has implemented. And based on that, we have also done the follow-up survey and follow-up studies. So we find the reduction from 2019 to 2023. So in summers, its waste burning was reduced around 85%, and in winter it is 55%. Winter might be more because of the heating is one of the problem where people still burning. So this is for the Baroda. For Baroda also we published this report for this waste burning, and in Baroda also we done a lot of capacity building for the waste worker, and we found during the survey the waste worker has done this burning. So after this round of capacity building to the every ward of the waste worker, we conduct a follow-up study and we found the reduction in waste burning. So this is also a very good example from Baroda then how waste burning is reduced if you have to target intervention. These are some just glimpses of the things that we have done it in the different city. And this is the new project which is coming for the Commission for Air Quality Management for Delhi NCR. We are now starting this work in Delhi NCR. In Delhi, we are East Delhi and South Delhi district we are choosing. Bhiwadi in Rajasthan, Ghaziabad in Uttar Pradesh, and Faridabad in Haryana. So we are working in this 5 city for this open waste burning. And these, as Shri was mentioning, that these are the typical problem that people are facing, why the waste burning is happening. So the waste collection is one. So why in the waste collection also, like sometime the garden waste is the one problem the people won't collect. Like door-to-door collection is not happening in some of the places. There's a match of the timing for this door collection vehicle and with the people office timing. Sometimes it's happen. Then it's with the waste transportation with container, then with the corporation staff. And then sometimes people dump the waste in the open and people burn because of lack of segregation. It's also happened. The lack of coordination between the collector and the waste inspector, because the people one collect or sweep and then the other staff who collect it and transport it. So there is, because of that also, the heating is one which is very common. Then we have the less space to store the waste. That is also the waste burn. Industries are also burning. Monitoring is one of the thing, and the consistency of this IEC awareness, because of that the people are burning. So this is the some way forward work that we are planning towards that, like impact assessment pre and post, some pilots in zero waste burning in the city, exposure study, expand in our work in other cities, drive these things as a national attention of this issue, because nationally the waste burning is not very recognized. Even though SBM has achieved a peak, but waste burning is not achieved a peak. And then engagement with the all type of stakeholder who are engaging in that and towards the technology and the innovation for the new data. So thank you from my side. I request Shri to proceed for the panel discussion. Thank you.
Thanks, Sanjor. So we'll proceed with the discussion. Thanks a lot. Like to invite all the panelists here. Would like to first of all invite Mr. Vikas Singh, the senior scientist, Commission for Air Quality Management, Mr. Gaurav Singh Sogarwal, Commissioner, Gorakhpur Municipal Corporation, Mr. VP Jayseelan, Joint Commissioner Health, Greater Chennai Corporation. Then we have Mr. Manoj Verma, Superintending Engineer, MCD Delhi. Mr. Swapnil Shukla, Nodal Officer, NCAP and Executive Engineer, Vadodara Municipal Corporation. Mr. Pankaj Bhushan, Environmental Engineer, Agra Municipal Corporation. Ms. Parmita Datta De, Head Resources and Waste, NIVA Delhi. Bharti Chaturvedi, Founder, Chintan, Nitesh Chandrakar, Sector Portfolio Manager, AFD. Shri Gopal Jagtap, Director and Co-founder of Shrishti Waste Management from Indore. Then we also have Mr. J.B. Ravinder, Advisor to SBM, Mahua, and Dr. Himanshu Chaturvedi, also representing Mahua. And we also have Madam G. Rajeshwari, a nodal person, ICCC from Chennai. So thanks a lot again for joining. I will start with...
Shri, there's one more introduction for Aniket.
Oh, sorry. I think I missed it. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Aniket. This is Mr. Aniket Chandra, Senior Associate, Solid Waste Management and Circular Economy at CSE, Delhi. Great. So we will start with the session. I think first I will invite Vikas Singh to set the context. Already CAUCM has identified waste burning as one of the major issues, as we saw that around, as various estimates, 10% seems to be a situation of PM 2.5 contribution is actually coming from waste burning. We are in the process of doing this detailed survey and more detailed work in NCR cities. But if you can give us as a context on how this is considered as one of the major issues, and also what all has happened so far, and what are the successes you are seeing, and on which we are going to build and mainstream this, how to ensure that every officer, every citizen in the NCR should know that we cannot burn waste. How do we achieve that? Yeah.
Hello. Thank you for this opportunity to present about CAQM and then the burning issues related to air pollution in this forum. So as you know that Delhi air pollution is a very complex issue. It is not only an urban problem, as lot of evidences are there now. It is a more of a airshed problem. The pollution that we do within Delhi and the pollution sources which are outside Delhi both equally impact the Delhi air pollution. So there is a need for a better coordination for the abatement of air pollution. So the CAQM, which was established as a statutory body as per the CAQM Act in 2021 for better coordination, research and identification of the problems related to air pollution. Now, when I said that the pollution load coming from Delhi and coming from outside Delhi, there are two types of pollution emissions you can see. One is which is related to the combustion activities and one is related to the dust activities. When you see the contribution, there is a lot of contribution from the dust. You can see that many of the source apportionment studies or as well as emission inventory studies, they say that dust is a major contributor. The dust is a different type of source, whereas the combustion activities which are coming from the combustion sources, such as vehicular, these industries as well as MSW burning, they contribute directly as well as indirectly, whereas the dust sources have a dispersion, local dispersion. They don't travel to very long distances. Especially the combustion sources which emits primary particles as well as secondary particles. So they can travel to longer distances and get converted into secondary particulate, and which in turn contribute to the net particulate matter concentration in Delhi. Now, so it means that the waste burning which is happening within Delhi is contributing to the pollution load in Delhi, and the waste burning happening outside Delhi is also contributing to the waste burning activities. Sorry, contributing to the air pollution in Delhi. Now, the CAQM has identified waste burning as one of the key areas. We fully understand the importance of this. There are two main reasons we can say. The one thing is that waste burning activities are mostly happening in the vicinity of the population. Most of the time it is very near. So near source problem is there. So the maximum exposure happens. The second thing is the the potential to form the secondary particulate. Recent evidences like last few years, couple of papers have been published, especially the chlorine emissions coming from the plastic waste has been directly contributing to the air pollution through the formation of the ammonium chloride kind of thing. And this again comes from outside to here. And the third component is in the waste burning, we don't know what is getting burnt. So we don't know what is the toxicity of this pollutant. So this is the one of the major uncertainty which can contribute to the air pollution. Now, how this pollution problem is addressed? So one way, the only way to address this pollution problem, means understanding of the pollution problem is to develop the emission inventory. Again, when we see the emission inventory, we have some better estimates for other sectors, but when it comes to MSW burning sector, this is highly uncertain because we don't know who is burning, where it is getting burnt, what is getting burnt, and all those things. Sanjar WRI has already presented based on the studies conducted in different cities. So as we can see that the burning frequency varies with city to city based on the practices. Maybe in Chennai it is a different practice, but in North it is a different practice because here we have the hot as well as cold climate both. And in winter season, you can see the burning activities can be prevalent, not because the people want to burn it, but because people want some kind of heating arrangements. So ultimately, the key solution is the first understanding how much it is contributing to the ambient air. Based on the estimate so far, because of the limitation of the source apportionment studies, the biomass to this biomass and MSW all together can contribute up to 15 to 20% in ambient air pollution. So this biomass also includes the wood and other things. But as per the emission inventory studies, the contribution comes around, let us say 3 to 5%. Although the number looks very small, but it is very significant because of the reasons it was mentioned earlier. So in order to control these sources, we need to focus on the mitigation plan, how to address. In order to address, we need to water the different points where it is getting burnt. So we have two kinds of sources. One, of course, because there is a waste collected, there is a waste generated, per capita waste generated, this information is available, and there is a waste collected by the municipal bodies, urban local bodies. Whatever gap is there, that is likely to be burnt. So we get the estimation of the burnt estimation, and after that emission estimation, we know how much is getting emitted, but at the moment we don't have much information about where it is getting burnt. So one area we know is getting burnt is the landfill site, where this waste is likely to, it is not purposefully burnt, but there can be chances of fire incidences, where Commission has taken cognizance, and also not only Commission, the CPCB rule, CPCB is there, this ministry is there, this MAHUA is there. So there are already guidelines and directions issued to prevent the fire at the landfill sites. The second is the prevention of the MSW burning at various locations in Delhi NCR. This is one of the most challenging activity. Again, Commission has issued direction. So the strategy is to have the door-to-door waste collection with segregated waste. How this waste can be processed and how much can go in which mode of processing. So ultimately, once we have the whole waste to end chain, all completely, there is no issue in the collection. So that can lead to zero waste generation, zero waste processing. So in that way, we can reduce. But at the moment, the biggest issue is identifying the areas where it is getting burnt. So we are collaborating with WRI. So WRI is going to conduct survey in Delhi and the surrounding cities of NCR, and we will know exactly what are the points where this waste is getting burnt, and based on that, corrective measures can be taken. So this is, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for laying out the scenario of how CEQM is looking at this, and very heartening to see that this is gaining importance. So similarly, I mean, this idea is also gaining importance in across the country. As we also discussed about Gorakhpur, where the city of Gorakhpur has made a kind of a declaration that within 2 years we are going to ensure that there is zero burning happening in the city. And we have the commissioner here who's the vision behind this. We request him to,
Thank you, Shri. Good afternoon to all. I want to highlight some of the key issues in the Gorakhpur, in fact, in the every municipal corporation in the northern India. So we are facing this challenge. How much city is generating waste? So depending upon the Mahua guideline, the per capita 450 gram. So first of all, we did a extensive survey. So it took around 8 to 10 months to do a survey in which we have to get the data of waste characterization and the quantification of the waste. So we have a 80 wards, and every wards we selected HIG, LIG and slum area, and this is a survey, and every component of the society must include that survey so that we have actual idea of how much city is generating waste and what are the capacity we have to collect it and the process it. So we did this waste characterization, the quantification extremely with help of the WRI. They help us very well, and we come out this data. And based on that, we identified our processing capacity, our collection capacity from door to door. Then we have to take the action. We have more than, earlier we had more than 16 secondary collection points where open burning was very much prevalent. We had a dump site as well. More than 3 lakh metric ton dump site was there, and it was eye-catching to every citizen of the city. So the frequent fire incidents was happening over there. So we took initiatives, first of all, to remediate this landfill site as soon as possible. So within a span of 1.5 years, we bioremediate this landfill site, and we reclaimed more than 40 acres of land, and 50,000 sapling we were planted. The Miyawaki forestation is there. It is a just entry of the Gorakhpur city. So now this garbage mountain turned into the picnic spot. So I think just recently we had a very good cyclotron over there. So we curtail the frequent incident of the fire just because of the presence of the landfill site. This is the one initiative we took it. Second initiative, based on the survey, what we get waste characterization, we identified the transfer stations positioning as well as the processing facilities. We enhance of the processing facilities. So earlier we had 30% collections. So with help of the SBM and the different guidelines issued by the state government as well as the government of India, 98% collections, we just achieved it, and more than 89% segregated waste we are dealing with this. But I'm not saying open waste burning is not happening. It is happening. So particularly to stop it, we have to make it a comprehensive plan. So we have started with the 10 wards to make this ward as an open waste burning free ward. So with help of the councillors, ward councillors, Swachhta Protsahan Samitis, engagements of our senior citizens. So we can say that earlier we reported more than 550 incidents per week, it drastically reduced to 2 digits. So it's quite successful model. We achieved it, and in the month of March, we already made a declaration in presence of Honorable CM. We make our Gorakhpur city as a open waste burning free city. We ensure the MRF facilities, we ensure the garbage transfer stations, and we ensure the CND processing plant as well, along with the NCAF funding as well as the SBM funding. And apart from that, the innovative solutions we are providing to city, not only the city as well as the small ULBs, which is adjacent to the Gorakhpur. It's 16 ULBs are there. Their waste burning is also a part of the entry of the Gorakhpur. As Dr. Vikas said, it is not only the Delhi NCR, it is not only within the Delhi, it's outside the Delhi as well, who's contributing the air quality deterioration. As far as Gorakhpur is concerned, it's not only the city as well as outside the small ULBs, they are also contributing. So we are coming up the integrated waste management city as well as circular economic park, in which we are dealing with the 12 different types of waste generation by the city. Not only the MSW, we are also deal with the biomedical waste, electronic waste, plastic waste, wet waste, used battery based tire waste. So this is the city where 60 acres of land, and every waste we have a different processing facility at a single site. So it's also a learning center as well as the capacity building center, in which small ULBs can see what kind of processing facilities are there, what kind of different waste segregation is there, different type of waste is there, and what we have to do with these waste. We are also taking the waste from the smaller ULBs who are not afford the such kind of facilities. So with the help of these facilities, we also matching the collection of the waste as well as the processing capacity of the waste, not only the municipal corporation of the Gorakhpur as well as the smaller ULBs. But still, it is also a very new area, and open burning, especially in the rural setup as the suburban setups in that interior part of the country, is not popular as much as in Delhi NCR. But just with the help of the SBM guidelines, the strict guidelines 2016 and the Swachh Sarvekshan rankings, Mahua has also come up with the different kinds of toolkit every time. And I think if that part of waste burning is a part of the toolkit, it comply to the corporations, the ULBs to think in that direction as well, so that every ULBs have uniform toolkit. So I think that is another way to look around this problem. But still, we are working on that. If we can the collection facilities and the generation facilities match with the processing facilities, so it's for any ULBs, it's a criteria to curtail this problem as much as we can. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thanks for your leadership in pursuing many of these ideas. Now I'll look to Mr. Jayseelan, Dr. Jayseelan, the Joint Commissioner, Health. So municipal corporations see solid waste management as an important, a problem to solve. But how much is the waste burning in that? How, in a city like Chennai, where there is a very less burning happening, but burning is happening within the boundaries of the plots. Within the societies, within the residential areas, within the industrial areas, and everywhere. So, what are the measures you are taking in curbing all of that? That is one, and also looking at how systematic improvement of solid waste management in overall, which can also stop burning. Please.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, WRI, for having me. This program and for the opportunity. Chennai is one of the largest city in the country with the 426 square kilometer area with the estimated population of 1 crore with the additional 10% of floating population. The Chennai city is generating around 6,300 metric ton every day, which largely goes into the landfill. And we have two major dumping places. One is in the northern part of the city, and another one is in south part of the city. As far as the waste management is concerned, we were trying with the decentralized approach, like micro composting center that was not working. We couldn't even expand it due to the lot of agitation. Not in my backyard concept. People were agitating for decentralizing the micro composting centers. So again, we were thinking about exploring other options, and we found that large scale implementation like waste to energy plant only will work, and we started working towards that. Now, largely the current system, we are in the Chennai Corporation is processing around 7 million metric tons of waste, which already filled in the land area, the legacy waste. We are processing the legacy waste in the two landfilling sites. One is in, as I told, the northern part of the city, and another one is in south. To the extent of 200 plus acres, and we are reclaiming all those lands and the processing in the advanced stage of completion. The current, the fresh waste, that is another major, the real challenge. To process the fresh waste, we are, in the process of awarding tender to the 3,300 metric ton per day capacity of waste to energy plant, which includes one 600 metric tons of biogas plant and another one waste to energy plant and the material recovery facility. So these type of waste, which is we are adopting the systematic approach in solid waste management. In addition to that, there are some certain waste like garden waste, like the coconut tender coconut cells. We have a separate processing unit for that. It operates in 5 locations. So this will help us in reducing the burning that's happening in the landfills and the uncontrolled burnings in the various places. The another major part, as the Dr. Vikas told, and the National Commission for Air Quality and our state high-level committee also repeatedly shared this data of managing the C&D waste, construction and demolition waste. Construction demolition waste, Chennai Corporation has adopted a very systematic approach for any construction and demolition waste which is less than 10. That is the responsibility of GCC, Greater Chennai Corporation. Our field level staffs will, wherever the construction waste is found, they'll take a photo, and one dedicated mobile application has been developed, and they'll share the photos and other details. The private concessionaire who has contracted for this work, they are processing all the C&D waste, which is less than 1 ton. More than 1 ton, it is the responsibility of the individual or the company who's undertaking the C&D. So they have to approach the company, and we have earmarked and the particular companies, and we entered into the contract, and the rate card is fixed. So they have to approach the private companies for processing all those waste. So but we have given the land and other infra by the GCC, and the OPEX is done by the concessionaire. So every day we are processing 800 metric ton of C&D waste in the city. And but still, at any given point of time, in our recently conducted data says, at any given point of time, Chennai city sees 10,000 major construction or demolition happens in any point of time, at any given point of time. So the C&D waste that is being generated, or the dust particles that is contributing to the air quality, it's beyond our imagination. So due to the rapid urbanization and the construction things happening, and the rapid the projects are coming up, and the demolition happening in equal speed. So we have adopted this, and the Chennai Corporation exploring in expanding this model across the other zones as well. So the CND waste is we adopted this model, and the air quality index has improved a lot, and as Mr. Kumar said, there is no such a detailed burning activities happening for other reasons. In our dump sites, it is properly monitored and controlled by the GCC. The burning at the dump sites is generally not happening in the town, but the other adjacent, the outskirts of the Chennai city, this thing is another major issue in the nearby municipalities and other villages, that the integrated waste management plan, which we are planning, will going to cater the needs and cater the processing of solid waste management of the outskirts as well. So once all these things will come into place, we will be in a better position in handling this thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we'll focus more on Delhi, hearing about other cities. We request Mr. Manoj Verma to please on what MCD has been doing and what can be done. We request everybody to keep it within 5 minutes so that you have time for everyone.
Good evening, everybody. Sir, actually in Delhi, the MSW generation is around 11,500 TPD per day, out of which around 40% is wet waste biodegradable and 60% is dry waste. Right, at presently, we are able to treat only 70% of the waste generated. There are four WT plants, sir. Narela Bhavana, a capacity of 2,400, Tehkhand 2,000 TPD capacity, Okhla 2,000 T capacity, 1,350 capacity in our Gazipur. So to maintain the gap, we are planning to install 4 new WT plants, sir. For one WT plant of capacity 3,000 TPD, we have already awarded the work at Narela Bhavana. For another 2,000 TPD capacity, we have called the tenders. That plant will come up at Gazipur landfill sites. And there is a provision of extension 1,000 TPD in both Okhla and Tehkhand. So by the end of 2028, we will be able to process all the generated MSWs. For time being, sir, we are focusing to decentralized waste processing. For that, we have so far identified 3,500 bulk waste generators, mainly hotels, schools, hospitals, like banquet halls. So right now we have registered 3,500 bulk waste generators. Apart from that, sir, we are promoting zero waste colonies. So far we have identified and declared around 700 zero waste colonies. We are giving benefit also, sir. There is a Sahbagita scheme. In house tax also we give them some rebate, 10% in house tax rebate, plus we carry out the development work. Sir, as we all know, there are 3 big dump sites in Delhi. But there is a proper SOP. Due to that SOP, there is no fire incidents occurred in last 2 years. Only one incident occurred at Gazipur, sir. So since 2019, so far we have biomined around 185 lakh metric ton. The balance is 158. We have, sir, already we have awarded the work, and another for balance quantity, the work order is under process, sir. There is basically, sir, every year summer action plan and winter action plan is prepared by MCD in coordination with Environment Department of Delhi government. So we constitute teams of field officers from 6 to 2 and 2 to 10 and night hours also. So in last years, during last 1 year, sir, we carried out challans of around 4.5 lakhs, 190 challans. Sir, as I think there are some other problems. Basically, a study carried out by the TERI in 2018. A recent study is required to assess actually number of biomass burning. In MCD, sir, basically there is no large scale burning. We have given the work, outsourced the work of collection and transportation to all private agencies. So the agency will not burn because they are getting payment for transportation and collections. Basically, due to multiple, there are urban village, rural village. So people still use in many villages, I think, wood, as well as cow dung, upale जो बोलते हैं सर उसकी वजह से. There are sir slum clusters also where there is no PNG connection, LPG cylinders. So I have noticed that people use there also, wood also. We have issued the guidelines also to jo security guards should use electrical heaters. So there is a scheme of Delhi government. In MCD buildings, we are providing assistance. We have attended one meeting in CAQM with WRI. Whatever information they have sought, we have provided. So hopefully, after that report, we will able to take more action and control. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. So there's been whole lot of things are happening, whole lot of efforts are happening. How do we really understand the outcome of really reducing the burning? So that is something we will all try to work towards. Now, I think now I'll request Mr. Ravinder. Okay, he's on call. Probably we can come back. So we can now staying on Delhi little bit. Bharati, you've been working in Delhi, and a lot of your work is around ensuring that how a community-enabled change of better waste management and reduction of burning. So if you can please talk about your experience. Yes.
Grab your mic, whose mics, anyone's. Thank you. So thanks. This is such a good thing because Chintan's also been working on air pollution and waste and where the two meet in UP, in Delhi also and other places. And we're just starting some work in Delhi. So I think it's almost like a message that we should have been here and we should start talking to each other, to reinforce each other's work and be synergistic. So let me start with UP because it's more recent. We work in Ayodhya, Lucknow, Ghaziabad, and we're moving to Meerut. And what our fundamental premise was that how do you go down to because Swachh Bharat already has guidelines. The Swachh Sarvekshan is a incentive to actually meet some of those. But what happens is that there are leakages. And the question that Chintan asked was, where do those leakages occur? What leaks out? And how do you prevent those leakages? And we decided that we needed we needed to build an ecosystem around preventing leakages. Because as you know, when actors like us are in a space, we also go away. So how do you institutionalize and we felt institutionalization is not enough because there's a gap from the government order to the public perception. So I'll just talk a little bit about two interventions very briefly. When we went to Ghaziabad, we had a fabulous municipal commissioner to work with, Mr. Malik. And he said, we did a study and we realized nobody understood waste. And we said, let's focus on young people because they are the most impacted by air pollution. And because they are impacted, you can bring in other actors because it's difficult to dismiss health of children. So we use that and leverage that and realized inko to kuch pata hi nahi. They don't know anything about waste. So we produced a really fun book and we did a baseline. That was our baseline. From the baseline, we built on and we trained teachers. And we trained teachers in 100 schools. And in fact, KPMG got into this act. And then the teachers trained the students. And we did 2 teachers' trainings and they did 1 student's training. And there was a sudden increase within about less than a month of 5% knowledge on critical aspects. So what I'm trying to say is that we can't assume that people know. And just that 5% is actually for people who work in pedagogy. Apparently, it's a very good outcome. So then the UP government actually used that, and now it's across UP being used. It's called Swachh Mohalla Squad, SMS. So I can share it with anybody who's interested. But now it's actually all over UP, whether or not you're an NCAP city. So that is the first lesson. The second lesson is more related to leakages. The first one is really about assumptions on basic knowledge. And all of this came because in 2023 we did a study and we found that people didn't even know what AQI was. And we did it in multiple cities in the NCR, Noida, Faridabad, Gurgaon, Delhi. And we said, if you don't know what is AQI, how do you get warnings about behavior? Because the conversation was don't play games outside. And so that is where this idea about measuring what existed. The second thing is, I'll share something in Ayodhya. So again, coming back to the idea of leakages, our point was that you cannot have a police state. That's not possible. You only need to shift perception on leakages. So we worked in 2 wards and we worked with several schools. And while we were working with them, talking to them about, why burning is bad, and we started bringing in doctors and building that ecosystem, we realized a lot of doctors think, theek hai, it's getting purified when you're burning. And I mean, we never published that data because it is obviously not something that builds the movement or makes anyone happy. So it's still with us and it will stay unpublished. But then we brought doctors from Lucknow and we built up medical opinion. And the CMO got involved, and then the Department of Health got involved. And we said, you have to agree that burning waste causes air pollution, and air pollution actually is a bad thing. It doesn't cleanse. Hawa saaf nahi ho jati. So it was that basic. But then we started breaking things out into what you can do about it. And our entire focus was doctors, parents, school, children. 4 people, and the CMO and the municipal commissioner's office were coordinating it. And they did a lot of stuff, stop burning in school, and they had 100 meters around school, all of that. I don't want to take up too much time, but Respira Life Sciences, Ronak Sutaria's company, is doing our evaluation at this point, and they found a 5% decrease in 2.5 in the schools where certain actions were taken versus places that we did not go to, very comparable. So I think it's a really good outcome. And we also found that there was a huge increase in learning, particularly amongst mothers and teachers. And why I'm telling you all this is, I think often people, even Chintan, we're often pushing policy, but that never really plays out on the ground for a number of institutional reasons. And now we're working with the UP government to institutionalize these learnings in different ways, which will happen in the next couple of months. And finally, and just because CAF is here, I just want to talk about something which is about how often workers who are outdoor workers, we did a study called Unfair, where we looked at workers, security guards and municipal actors and waste pickers, and they were significantly worse impacted from air pollution. Now the point is, at least in municipalities, you can impact women's health. You just don't post women in the childbearing age on an arterial road. I mean, you have to do these things, and we're doing it with a couple of municipalities. I think they don't believe the science. So again, we have to bring in doctors and, play that medical conversation, which is it's a very informative, it's a very enlightening thing. I will, incidentally, security guards were not the ones burning the most waste. Actually, street vendors across East Delhi, West Delhi and South Delhi were burning the most waste, particularly people who were selling food. Because when it gets dark after 7, everyone is coming for the anda and the machli and the khana, especially where workers are. And it is freezing cold, and they were burning the most waste, which is a big surprise. It's a shift from the security guard paradigm. And I'll close just with one thought that I want to leave with you, which is that when we talk of waste, but we don't talk of leakages in waste. And I just want to talk of electronic waste, most of which still goes to the informal sector. And that leakage, I mean, handling it is entirely about waste burning. And I mean, I think we all know that. And the solution isn't about telling people, "Arey, please give your waste here and there," because we can't change human behavior. So, and I know I have 1 minute left and I will use my 1 minute fully. So, what I'm trying to say is that there are financial incentives for selling it off to like the low floor pricing. We're doing a study with another of your colleagues and we're looking at how low the floor pricing is, which means you pay very little to the recyclers and the recyclers actually can't recycle on that kind of cost. And so when you can't recycle on that cost, you sell it off to the informal sector. So your profits are your low floor pricing plus what the informal sector is taking. So that perverse financial number is adding to air pollution. And we have huge recycling in Bulandshahr, in even Muradabad, but even in the Delhi-UP border, literally. So I want to kind of draw attention to incentives like that also. So I will close without talking of the informal sector. I think it's predictable how I'll talk of the link between inclusion and reduced air pollution, because then they can throw away the waste that they don't want without secretly burning it because they're illegal and not included. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for bringing the informal sector as well into the discussion, because we also found that wherever waste burning happening in the cities, it's also the most vulnerable people who are living along that, and also the informal sector who's involved in handling it is also very much affected. So that's very important. And now I will request Mr. Ravinder to talk about the successes in SBM and how this is reducing, the success stories which can be helpful for replication in NCR, and also the sort of the learnings from SBM which should be leveraged to achieve zero waste burning in NCR.
Thank you. And you see, Swachh Bharat Mission on the solid waste management, in the ministry we are very clear about it, that solid waste management in all its aspect is a shared responsibility of the citizens and the government or the institutions. So for that matter, segregation can be a big game changer, but we are having a lot of success stories in the cities. And we also have, inordinately long work in progress cases as well. Prior to Swachh Bharat Mission also, we had cities like Namakkal, Suryapet, and small cities doing very well. And then after the Surat disaster plague, Surat Municipal Corporation did a lot of work and they continue to do that. What Swachh Bharat Mission has achieved is only using the compliance of the rules as a government tool and giving an incentive of recognition only. We are giving just the recognition, nothing else. And today, after the last year's declaration, we have made the Swachh Super League. These are all Indian Premier League, English Premier League. That is there is a talk of the town. So we have the Swachh Super League also. Instead of cities just being lighthouses by themselves, under their wings, with the support of the state administration, some more poorly performing cities may come together and know as a peer-to-peer learning Will someone give me the time? Okay, notice. So we have now around 23 highly qualified cities and put together around 72 promising cities. The idea is, this is from the Honorable Minister, so if they take 1 to 5, it is up to them. It is up to the state government also. Other cities together, we may be able to do it. Because so far, most of the success has been champion driven. Now the time is to become institutionalized as a process. Like we had such a big reform in building permit system, right? It is totally institutionalized, it is now literally machine based approval, everything. Our solid waste management should also become like that. And specializations comes to it. Segregated waste and all that. We are not forgetful of the waste burning. Don't take it otherwise, Manoj sir. In Delhi also we have a lot of, we have to admit that in a city, certain areas receive more attention as, the social ladder drops down to the low. We have to admit it. There the situations go haywire, and suddenly somebody decides that instead of, rotting this thing here, it is set on fire. Who has set on fire? Swachh Bharat Mission is a third-party based assessment, so we cannot have, these are all non-point sources. We cannot assess it. Today it is there, tomorrow it may not be there. As someone mentioned, we may like to have it, but it is a big challenge for our assessment also. Now going forward, this solid waste management will need to be treated as a kind of industrialized government intervention. For example, water supply, we have huge plants and reaching up to the city. So door-to-door collection will have to reach the last person without his intervention. But at the same time, some of the issues Sanjay had mentioned, mismatch of the time between the collector and this collection vehicle. Even High Court is on record saying that you fix up a time there. But someone also said we cannot have a police state. Actually, Swachh Bharat Mission, I personally believe, I may not be quoted or you may quote it anonymously. Now is the time. We have done incentives a lot. There are examples like Singapore and other countries. We need to have proper, disincentive or penalization also, because in India, one person gets penalized and 1,000 people are set all right. It is the lesson we have learned from dengue larva system implemented by municipal corporation only. I am giving you a compliment, sir. Don't take it otherwise. So this is, Swachh Bharat Mission is scope keeps on expanding, but our feet on the ground are the same. I would like to request Dr. Chaturvedi if you can supplement something. He is closely associated there.
So I will pick up few points quickly because time is there. So why people burn waste? The one issue with the most of the ULVs, actually most of the ULVs, they don't know what waste characterization they have. Right? So Mahua is coming up, the tender is on. We are working on the tender to shortlist agency with 80 cities in a go for waste characterization, waste quantification and household waste survey. So then we can get to know what is the quantum of garden waste you are getting. Because in Delhi, and I can take example of Chandigarh. Chandigarh is city alone producing around more than 120 tons of garden waste. And the rest is how we are collecting. Joint Commissioner Chennai is here. In most of the cases, the collection is on the weight basis. And if you are collecting a garden waste, there is no weight actually. So people normally avoid the waste collector on the private sector things. They avoid collecting garden waste because there is no weight in that. And Chennai has come up with a KPI system of waste collection actually. So we are also evolving for waste collection. And the other part is, apart from the garden waste, what kind of waste we are burning actually. That's only non-recyclable waste, which has a zero recyclable value. Because you cannot find anywhere anyone is burning the PET bottle. Anyone is burning a high calorific value PVC items. They are only burning the multiple MLPs and all. So these are the waste items which has least recyclable values. People throw it and they burn it. And as far as the Mahua is concerned, we give everything, whatever cities are asking for collection transportation is phase 1. And the that legacy waste remediation, as per the city quoted, we had around 25 crore metric tons of waste, and approximately 55% of waste we have already remediated in the different dump sites, different parts of India. And as per the Delhi is concerned, Delhi is one of the important city. I can say that this is the one city which quote their waste at the you can say for the finest level. No city in India will quote that they are producing 11,400 TPD. Every city is taking a bypass while quoting their waste quantum. So that is the credit goes to Delhi actually. And yes, waste to energy is one of the option, but yeah, decentralize another thing. So we should improve our CNT system first, and the timing of CNT system. I think that is the one of the important aspect. Other it is the responsibility of citizens and corporation all, but yeah, we have to again look back at the collection system we have for the collection of garden and non-recyclable waste actually. Thank you.
Actually, this search addiction toolkit also, we involve all big municipal corporations and small together. It is a very transparent consultation. Then only we finalize. If the cities want to take up waste burning as a big issue, it is in the rules, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
We will definitely do it. For CAQM, we have been doing it. For 5 years, Delhi has been reporting. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. Now we'll go to some of the success cases. I think Indore has been spoken a lot, and Mr. Jagtap is here, and he has been involved in IEC activities and supporting IEC activities to a large level in driving behavior change related interventions. So please, if you can talk about successes from Indore.
सभी को नमस्कार. हिंदी बोलूँगा चलेगा? गुड. तो क्योंकि आईसी थोड़ा सा हिंदी में हो तो ज़्यादा अच्छा है. 17-18 साल का एक्सपीरियंस और बहुत सारा सिटीज़ में काम करने के बाद में जब देखा कि कलेक्शन सिस्टम, सोर्स एग्रीगेशन एंड वेस्ट बर्निंग, तो वो सब हम लोगों का हैबिट था. हमारे दादा परदादा सब जला देते थे. जो सर ने बोला फर्स्ट पॉइंट कि हमने जब इंदौर में काम स्टार्ट किया, या मैं जो 16-17 सालों से काम किया हूँ, तो फर्स्ट है लिटर फ्री सिटी. सेकेंड इज बिन फ्री. कंटेनर पूरे हटा दो शहर से, क्योंकि आपने देखा होगा वो कंटेनर छोटे बर्निंग पॉइंट होते थे किसी भी शहर में बिफोर, मतलब स्वच्छ सर्वेक्षण के पहले, 2016 के पहले. एंड थर्ड इज डस्ट फ्री. बिन फ्री, लिटर फ्री, डस्ट फ्री. एंड मेरा शुरू से कहना है, जब से मैं वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट सीखा हूँ इन ईयर 2007, बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशनों को देखा, तो सेग्रीगेशन अगर हो गया तो आपकी वेस्ट की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व है. हम बर्निंग की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर लीजिए, आप लेगेसी की प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर लीजिए, आप एरिया क्लीनिंग, वार्ड क्लीनिंग सारा कर लीजिए. तो फिर जब हमने देखा पूरा वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट का और सारा सिस्टम की जान है डोर टू डोर वेस्ट कलेक्शन, सोर्स एग्रीगेशन, वो कहीं भी, और बर्निंग का मेन रीजन भी, हम कलेक्शन ही नहीं करेंगे और लोगों को बोलेंगे यार वो रेसिडेंशियल एरिया हो, वो कमर्शियल एरिया हो, वो पब्लिक एरिया हो, वो बिगर गार्डन है, गार्डन में 10 दिन तक अगर वेस्ट पड़ा होगा तो वहाँ का जो सफाई मित्र है वो आग लगा देगा. यार मैं रोज सुनता हूँ इनकी, तो जो मेरे सुपरवाइजर हैं वो उठाते नहीं है, तो वो क्या करेगा, वो जला देगा. तो लेक ऑफ सुपरविजन, लेक ऑफ रिसोर्सेज, वो कहीं ना कहीं है. तो हमने जो आईसी
के माध्यम से, जो बीसीसी और आईसीसी के माध्यम से डिफरेंट लोगों के साथ में, डिफरेंट स्ट्रेटेजी के साथ में काम करना स्टार्ट किया। तो हमने एक तरफ लोगों को तो पकड़ा और म्यूनसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन को भी पकड़ा। ठीक है, हम लोगों को लोग सुधारना चाहते हैं। ठीक है, वो कोई कचरा फेंकना नहीं चाहता है। जो हमारे सफाई मित्र हैं, जो हमारे वेस्ट स्पीकर हैं, वो भी नहीं चाहते हैं कि, और जो सर ने बोला कि कभी भी क्वालिटी, हिमांशु जी ने बोला कि वो क्वालिटी ऑफ वेस्ट में कभी आग नहीं लगाते हैं। तो जो सफाई मित्र हैं, और वो भी देखना पड़ेगा, डिफरेंट सीजन में डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ वेस्ट बर्निंग कर देते हैं सफाई मित्र, या लोग भी कर देते हैं, या कमर्शियल लोगों ने दुकानें बंद की और बाद में दुकानों के सामने कचरा रखा और उसमें आग लगा दी। क्यों आग लगा रहे हो भाई साहब? सर वो तो रात में तो किसी प्रकार का कलेक्शन तो होता नहीं है, और सुबह हमको दुकान खोलना है, सुबह हमारी दुकान को, तो डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ कलेक्शन। तो इंदौर में आप देखेंगे, तो इंदौर में या जहां भी हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं, पहला है प्रॉपर रूट प्लानिंग, सेकेंड है प्रॉपर डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन। 100% मतलब 100%। वेस्ट कलेक्शन में 98 भी नहीं होता है। अगर 100 है तो 100%, 100 में तो 100% डोर टू डोर वेस्ट कलेक्शन। एक इन्होंने संजय जी ने एक जब हम इंदौर की केस स्टडी शेयर कर रहे थे तो एक फोटो दिखाई थी, स्ट्रेच टू स्ट्रेच क्लीन होना चाहिए। ठीक है, मतलब पाथ बना दिया। आप देखेंगे वहां पे किसी भी रोड पे तो एंड टू एंड पाथ बने, यहाँ पे कचरा डालने के लिए या गंदगी होने का कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है। तो लोगों को उस लेवल का अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि आपको कचरा बाहर फेंकना नहीं है, प्रॉपर रखना है, और लोग जब कचरा बाहर फेंकते हैं उसको सर्विसेज अच्छा ना मिले। तो हमने सारे स्टेक होल्डर, मतलब वो रेसिडेंशियल एरिया हो, कमर्शियल एरिया हो, पब्लिक हो, स्कूल हो, होटल हो, मैरिज गार्डन है, रेलवे स्टेशन, बस स्टेशन, सारे लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई करके सारे लोगों को सर्विसेज उस लेवल तक की प्रोवाइड की, तो आज वो कचरा दिखता नहीं है और बर्निंग नहीं होता है। दूसरा चीज है, क्या हमारे जो सफाई मित्र झाड़ू लगा रहे हैं या जो हमारे सफाई मित्र काम कर रहे हैं, उनको हम क्या प्रॉपर रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल करवा पा रहे हैं? अगर नहीं करवा पाएंगे तो कचरा पड़ा रहेगा तो जलेगा ही वो, क्योंकि जलेगा या फिर ड्रेन में जाएगा। तो वो रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल करवाना बहुत जरूरी है। हमारी डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन गाड़ियां ही कमर्शियल का भी कलेक्शन करती है, वो कहीं ना कहीं गलत है। तो वो डिफरेंट सिस्टम वहां पे डेवलप किया। बल्क वेस्ट जनरेटर है, उसका कचरा भी डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन। कई बार कई सिटीज में हम जाते हैं, जब नया काम स्टार्ट करते हैं, जो डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन गाड़ियां हैं, वो रेसिडेंशियल का भी कचरा उठा रही है, वो कमर्शियल का भी कचरा उठा रही है, और वो बल्क वेस्ट जनरेटर का भी कचरा। हाउस पर्सन एक गाड़ी प्रैक्टिकली जो है वो 800 हाउस होल्ड से ज्यादा का कचरा उठा नहीं सकती है। वो हमारा आईसी है। आईसी मतलब इन तरह हम ड्राइवर को भी सिखा रहे हैं, हम हेल्पर को भी सिखा रहे हैं, हम जो डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन वेंडर एजेंसी है उसको भी सिखा रहे हैं कि एक गाड़ी 3 ट्रिप में 800 से लेके 1000 हाउस होल्ड से कचरा ज्यादा उठा ही नहीं सकती है। वो कैसे 2000 घर का कचरा उठा रही है? मतलब आप कचरा नहीं उठा रहे। तो ये डिफरेंट टाइप का आईसी और डिफरेंट टाइप का एक्टिविटी हमने डिफरेंट स्टेक होल्डर के साथ में किया, और करने के बाद में वो सारे इश्यूज को आइडेंटिफाई किए, क्यों कचरा जला रहे हैं, रीजंस क्या हैं, किस कम्युनिटी के लोग हैं, कौन कौन लोग हैं, क्या सर्विसेज देना चाहिए। तो उस तरीके का आईसी हमको डिजाइन करना होगा। सिटी टू सिटी चेंज हो सकता है, एरिया टू एरिया चेंज हो सकता है, और हमारे सफाई मित्र जो काम कर रहे हैं, अगर हम उनको प्रॉपर ट्रेनिंग, मेन वही है डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन, सेग्रीगेशन और ट्रेनिंग इन कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग एंड रिसोर्स मोबिलाइजेशन, राइट रिसोर्स मोबिलाइजेशन अगर होगा तो कहीं ना कहीं हम ओपन जो बर्निंग है उसको हम रोक पाएंगे। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much. Yeah, very interesting experiences. Thanks a lot. Now I will request Mr. Pankaj Bhushan from Agra Nagar Nigam, and sir, you are.
देखिए, आगरा में जो प्रॉब्लम है थोड़ा अलग टाइप की है। सॉलिड वेस्ट के साथ साथ आगरा में लेदर का काम भी होता है, शूज़ का। तो आगरा की जो बर्निंग जो समस्या थी वो थी जो जूते बनाने के बाद जो उसकी कतरन बचती है, स्क्रैप जो मटेरियल बचता है उसकी बर्निंग का, कूड़े के साथ साथ। तो लास्ट 2 ईयर्स में हम लोगों ने उस पर कंट्रोल किया है। आईआईटी कानपुर के माध्यम से हम लोगों ने सोर्स अपोर्समेंट स्टडी कराई थी, उसमें 12 हॉट स्पॉट्स को आइडेंटिफाई किया गया था जहाँ पर वेस्ट बर्निंग की समस्या सबसे ज़्यादा थी। हमने उन 12 स्पोर्ट्स को जो आइडेंटिफाइड थे, हॉट स्पॉट्स थे, उन पर सुपरविजन के लिए हमारे जो एसएफआईज हैं, जोनल सैनिटरी ऑफिसर्स हैं, उनकी एक टीम बनाई और उसको लगातार उसका मॉनिटरिंग कराया, सुपरविजन कराया, और उन हॉट स्पॉट्स को हमने ख़त्म किया यहाँ हमारी सबसे ज़्यादा समस्या वेस्ट बर्निंग की थी। इसके अलावा कुछ नए हॉट स्पॉट्स फिर से पैदा हुए, जनरेट हुए। हमारे यहाँ APAG एक फर्म है जो काम कर रही है, एयर पोल्यूशन एक्शन ग्रुप, साथ ही WRI भी काम कर रही है। तो दोनों के माध्यम से जो हमको सूचनाएं प्राप्त होती रही समय समय पर, हम लोगों ने उन पर काम किया है। और जितने भी हमारे इस तरह के पॉइंट्स थे जहाँ पर वेस्ट बर्निंग की समस्या थी, उसको हमने दूर किया है। लेदर का जो स्क्रैप निकल रहा था, उसके कलेक्शन के लिए हमने 17 डेडिकेटेड व्हीकल्स उन एरियाज में डिप्लॉय किए हैं जहां पर इस तरह की समस्या थी। डोर टू डोर हम लोगों ने उनका कलेक्शन शुरू कराया है और पर डे अप्रोक्सीमेट 7 to 8 metric ton ऑफ लेदर स्क्रैप इज बीइंग कलेक्टेड बाय आगरा म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन, जो बड़ी उपलब्धि हम लोगों की रही है। उसकी वजह से जो नाले में स्क्रैप गिरता था वो बंद हो गया है, जो बर्निंग थी वो बंद हो गई है। और इन द लास्ट 1 year कोई भी इंसिडेंट इस तरह का रिपोर्टेड नहीं हुआ है कि इस क्षेत्र में बर्निंग हुई है। दूसरी बात जो अभी मेरे पहले वक्ता और सभी ने बोली है कि हमारे जो सफाई कर्मचारी थे वो भी झाड़ू लगाने के बाद, स्वीपिंग के बाद, वेस्ट को कलेक्ट करने के बाद उसको उनको ट्रांसपोर्ट ना करना पड़े, नियरेस्ट जो हमारा पॉइंट्स है उसमें आग लगा देते थे। तो सुबह मॉनिटरिंग में, अब यूपी में सुबह 5 बजे से मॉनिटरिंग शुरू होती है आजकल, पिछले 2 साल से 3 साल से सुबह 5 बजे से 9 बजे तक पर डे स्टेट लेवल से मॉनिटरिंग होती है। उसमें देखा जाता है कितना डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन हो रहा है, स्वीपिंग कैसे हो रही है, आपका प्लांट्स रनिंग में है कि नहीं है, MRF आपके चल रहे हैं नहीं चल रहे हैं। वो सुबह पिछले 3 साल से लगातार हो रहा है, तो सभी को आदत हो गई है। तो जितने भी हमारे इंस्पेक्टर्स हैं या सुपरवाइजर्स हैं, सब फील्ड में सुबह 5 से 5:30 बजे तक निकलते हैं और देखते हैं, क्योंकि वही एक समय होता है जब कूड़े में आग लगाने की घटनाएं भी होती है सफाई कर्मचारियों के द्वारा। तो उसको रोका गया है, उनको पेनलाइज भी किया गया है। और आगरा, क्योंकि एक TTZ हमारे यहाँ बना हुआ है, ताज ट्रेपेजियम जोन अथॉरिटी, उसमें किसी भी प्रकार की लकड़ी, कोयले का जलाना पूर्ण रूप से प्रतिबंध है। तो उस चीज़ को भी हमको ध्यान में रखना है। और जो विंटर सीजन आता है तो गर्मी देने के लिए हम लोगों ने गैस हीटर्स का इंतजाम किया हुआ है, गैस हीटर्स हम लोग करते हैं। हमारी जो डंप साइट्स थी जिसपे समर के टाइम में कभी कभी बर्निंग की न्यूज़ आती थी, उसको हम लोग कम्बेट करते थे। मोर देन 20 lakhs ऑफ मीट्रिक टन लिगेसी वेस्ट हम लोग रेमिडिएट कर चुके हैं। 47 एकर्स ऑफ लैंड को हम लोग ने रिक्लेम किया है और उस वे से 20 एकर्स को हम लोगों ने ब्यूटीफुल पार्क और मियावाकी से हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं, बना रहे हैं। बाकी जो 27 एकड़ लैंड है उसमें हम नई अपनी फैसिलिटीज डेवलप कर रहे हैं। 150 TPD का कंस्ट्रक्शन वेस्ट डेमोलिशन प्लांट हमारा लग रहा है। इसके अलावा 25 मेगावाट वेस्ट टू एनर्जी प्लांट भी हमारा इस समय अंडर प्रोसेस है, जो चल रहा है, अंडर प्रोसेस है, कंस्ट्रक्शन फेज में है। जितने भी उसके लिए NOCs और लेना था वो सब सर्टिफिकेट सब लोग ले चुके हैं। और उसी एरिया को हम लोगों ने वेस्ट इंटीग्रेटेड मैनेजमेंट सिटी बनाया, डेवलप किया है। MRF हमारा उसी में चल रहा है। प्लास्टिक की जो समस्या थी, प्लास्टिक लोग जला देते थे, उसको भी हम लोगों ने कलेक्ट करना शुरू किया है अपने MRF के माध्यम से। और प्लास्टिक का जो दाना होता है जरवासा, वो बना रहे हैं। और उसके साथ साथ प्लास्टिक का पाइप भी हम लोग अपने यहाँ बना रहे हैं, जिसका 6 kg पर स्क्वायर जो हमारा प्रेशर होता है, उसी क्वालिटी का अच्छा पाइप हम लोग अपने यहाँ बना रहे हैं। उसकी हम लोगों ने मशीन बनाई है। शू लाफ्ट हम लोग बना रहे हैं। और वेस्ट बर्निंग पर हम लोगों ने पूरी तरह से कंट्रोल किया है। और उसी का नतीजा है कि हमारा AQI में भी सुधार अच्छा हुआ है। और लास्ट 2 years में मुझे बताते हुए बड़ी खुशी होती है कि हम लोग जो स्वच्छ वायु सर्वेक्षण हो रहा है, पिछले 2 सालों में हम टॉप 3 में रहे हैं। और इस साल का रिजल्ट भी अभी आने वाला है, तो उम्मीद है कि इस बार भी हम टॉप 3 में रहेंगे। थैंक यू।
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. It's very heartening to see that actions are actually showing some results. Thank you so much. Now, similarly, we will also hear from Vadodara. This whole success of hotspot management, jo actually by doing systemic way of controlling at the hotspots can really give some results. So, your experience, if you can.
Vadodara is one of the major 4 municipal corporations of Gujarat. Average daily generation is around 1300 tons per day, and we have different 19 wards with 4 zones. We carried out one survey with WRI in the year 2023 to get the quantification of waste burning and characteristics, to understand the nature, what kind of waste is burned. And with the help of Gujarat Pollution Control Board regional team, we found out one typical ward which was heavily affected with the waste burning, open waste burning. And that ward is containing of industrial, domestic and commercial segment, and having highest area in the whole city in any of the wards. Major key role players in this segment are field operations, which were led by municipal corporation with their sanitary administration teams as well as Safai Mitras. Then GPCB as enforcement of our guiding laws and guiding us throughout the journey, and one WRI team for totally throughout providing us the survey details and clarity about the waste burning and what kind of waste is like burnt. This has resulted in a reduction after we carried out the study and managed to reduce the percentage of around 36% within 2 years from 2023 to 2025 with sensitization of public with awareness campaigns and capacity building program with our sanitary those working in the field staff with Safai Mitras and RWAs with major awareness campaigns, and 20% like results we have seen cases reduction in particular higher major vulnerable areas. And this capacity building program, if we ask WRI team to keep on engaging day to day and in regular ways, we can minimize this and go towards the zero open waste burning cities. Thank you.
Absolutely. I think this is a great example of, such localized, focused action along with the workers and the people is very successful. Now, Paramita, you can see that there are these successes, but how do we institutionalize this? How do we ensure that this becomes an mainstream business? And this becomes one of the way of measuring the the indicator of how clear the city is. Yeah.
So a lot of people spoken about this and that. Have been spoken about the fact that we need a good, robust, and efficient collection and transportation system, and that has to be complemented with good IEC, BCC activities. And as my speaker on my right, Mr. Swapnil, said that they have been doing a lot of capacity building. So I think one is that some kind of measurement metrics as to how good and efficient collection and transportation system is, and also the monitoring of the collection and transportation system, accompanied by capacity building on a continuous basis, because the RW, if you're looking at capacity building, we have to look at all the stakeholders, which includes our Safai Mitras, our RWAs, our mayors, our councillors, so the administrators and the elected representatives together. And since it's a dynamic thing and people keep moving on and changing, so it has to be on a continuous basis. So capacity building has to be institutionalized. And the other thing that I feel also works, and of course within capacity building, there has to be a lot of peer-to-peer learning. Because if something has worked in Agra or Vadodara, that will make more sense rather than, trainers telling them this is how it should be done. And lastly, it has to be complemented with incentives and disincentives. So penalties, of course, are important, but at the same time, there should be some kind of incentive. Say, for example, during certain peak seasons, say during monsoons or during the fall season, there's a lot of waste in terms of garden waste that is generated in neighborhoods. Now, the cleaners are faced with the fact that they have to clear it. The residents want everything to be cleared. But at the same time, they are not willing to allocate a space for, say, decentralized composting of the leaf litter. Now, what does the Safai Mitra do? He or she is under pressure from their supervisors to clear that space, residents to clear their space, but the transportation and collection system is not that robust. the infrastructure is insufficient. So all these things have to come together and be institutionalized. It cannot happen maybe in the short term, but it has to be, the whole planning and strategy has to be made in such a way that this is the focus or priority in the short term, medium term and long term. So we also need to have strategies and plans in place.
Absolutely, we need those various levels of strategies. Now I'll request Nitesh, from your effort, there is a lot of, through the programs also you've been supporting and so on. So how do we, the experiences from that, in how do we leverage for institutionalizing in long term? Yeah.
Hi, thank you. So basically as a funder, what actually we see, like if we want to fund some projects or say here projects on air pollution or waste burning, waste burning indeed is a under prioritized issue in whole, air pollution discourse. Even though we know that its impact is very critical on human health, climate, both. And also if we compare to, transport or other industrial emission, it is not visible. Okay. And that's why it is also seen as a, often local nuisance, waste burning. It is not rather than a systematical, environmental risk. It is not taken as that. And hence, I think this is the issue where, this policymakers or funders focus is not there specifically on waste burning. Though as AFD, we think that there are certain keys which can encourage investment in this sector. For example, evidence and data generation. Any policymaker or funders, they are drive on measurable impact. So, for example, if what amount of contribution waste burning has in PM 2.5 or toxins or GHG, this type of data, and how it is actually disturbing the human life, health and economic losses. This type of data linkages is required when we actually think for any funding any project. Then there are integration. It should be integrated in a broad issue. For example, waste burning should not be seen or looked at into as a isolation. Okay, it is intrinsically linked to solid waste management, circular economy, climate resilience. And if waste burning comes from a framework of say SBM or any national schemes, surely to the channel to fund this type of activity will be quite easier. Then one more point which is we look after is demonstration or a financing model. Demonstration, I mean to say, like a lot of us will agree and we talked on it. If a city is doing 100%, 100% means 100% door-to-door collection, because one of the issue why waste burning is happening, you also showed in your presentation that the collection of waste is not there. Okay, the percentage, the city, the collection is not covering the whole city. And specifically, I don't know, like in hills actually, where this collection is pretty difficult, there they are burning. For waste burning is the solution for them. Okay, at the end. So if this type of some pilot is there already, then it can be looked after. And then some blended finance model. So for us, like for example, we provide loan to public sector. Now, when we provide loan for infrastructure most of the times. So blended finance where some grant which can help, IEC or behavior change activities. Then it is easy to identify project to, fund. Yeah. Thank you.
Great. Thanks for that. Now I'll go to Aniket. If we can talk about from your experience at CSC, a whole lot of work is being done. How we can leverage. Yeah.
So I mean, waste burning as a large as sir has started that we need to identify the inventory, or we have to make the inventory where we can identify the sources. So we have to understand that whenever we are talking about this, we are talking about the mismanagement of waste. There is a certain part which is highly managed, and then there is a certain part which is highly mismanaged. So basically, when we talk about the waste, or if I say plastics, which is highly toxic, as you mentioned earlier, so where we can find them? So one of the sources is dump site, as clearly mentioned. Then the other source is the GVP, or the garbage vulnerable point, which is there in our survection indicator. So garbage vulnerable points are generally those points which gets formed nearby in your areas just because someone is not monitoring, or some compliance is not there, so people are throwing it, or it has a high chance of building up. Apart from these points, all those waste that is there, or plastics that is there, it get leaked into the water, as mentioned by the Jagdapji. So basically these are the two core points. Now what are the sources which are contributing to them? So we were talking about that door-to-door collection is difficult to do because timely collection does not happen. So is that a challenge in the residential area and the other area also? So we have to look into what are the challenges in the other area, because when we are talking about the door-to-door collection, we are also talking about the commercial areas, we are talking about the institutional areas, we are talking about the street vendors who are there, who actually pollute the waste, but they are nearby some commercial areas. So how you are, propelling your collection model is very important. Most of the time we are trying to do it with a formal sense that we will, we will send it to a third party agency. They will come at a certain point. But here we need to understand the importance of informal sector, because when informal sectors are involved into the door-to-door collections, and you will give them some leverage to collect some material for yourself which has value, which can be sold in the market, they will do it in a segregated manner. So as Jagtapji has also mentioned, that the whole problem of waste lies into how segregation is happening and how much is collection is happening. If I have to talk about the waste or plastics perspective, there are two main aspects. One is the SBM. In SBM, if you see the dashboard, SBM urban dashboards, we have been doing Swachh Sarvekhan for now like last 10 years. And before that also we used to have rankings. But in the very beginning, the Sarvekhan happened, we had indicator of how much percentage of door-to-door collection is happening in a particular urban local body. In 2025, if you look into the dashboard of SBM Urban, you will find that 25 states are such who are not able to cater to 100% door-to-door collection for the all of the wards that are there in their state. So that is the plight, that we are not able to make the door-to-door. But why we are not able to make? Because we are not thinking about the models. We are just handling the reason which are being fed to us forefrontly. So we have to see that which model will work. Pune as a city has done a very tremendous work in this. Pune has multiple cooperatives. Swachh is one which is working. So Swachh, what happens is this, they have given the autonomy to the informal workers. They have made the cooperative of the informal workers who were existing at that in that city from a very long period of time. So the Pune Municipal Corporation PMC has given the autonomy of collecting the waste from door to door from there, and also giving them that opportunity that they can sell the recyclable waste and keep the money, and they can also keep the user fee. So whenever we are talking about collection model, we have to think that what is the current model that city is happening. Generally, the routine collection happens where the urban state has already been formed. So urban societies like Noida and all, there when you are giving it to a third party contract, it might be viable. But in India, where largely cities are not planned, we have residential areas in some place, commercial areas in other place. We have to think of model where informal sectors can be integrated into collection. Now the second part, or the most complicated part, is the plastic waste management in this. So we have got EPR in 2022 with the plastic waste management amendment rules. Here we have categorized different type of plastics: rigid, flexible and multi-layer plastic as major categories. There are 5 categories, compostable and biodegradable also, but 3 major plastic. Here the non-valuable plastics, MLPs, you can see the chips packets, the biscuit packets are lying openly in the neighborhood and they are not being collected because there is no value to it in the market, and hence they are getting burnt. So there are a lot of gaps into it. We are now transferred into credit-based system where the polluters who are identified as producer, importers and brand owners, they have been given this leverage, or they can leverage upon this credit-based system where you just need to have the number of credits against the number of the quantity of amount of plastics that you are generating. So it is generally, things are happening in parallel and things are happening in silos also. We have to see different aspect of it. I just want to end it with the one major challenge that is there. So with respect to the plastic, which generally constitutes around 50 to 60% in major of the waste, in the landfill it is only around 7 to 8%, but that is what the CPCB has said, and they have said it 5 years back. So we have to see that institutional arrangement, how it's working. In some areas, it's important to have integrated institutional working. For example, ULB are liable to carry out the characterization studies every 6 months for the plastic waste, or annually, and they have to submit it annually to the Urban Development Department and SPCB. And in general, the whole EPR framework is being guided by CPCB and SPCB. So here the agency to whom you are holding accountable to manage the plastic waste is not actually having the dynamics power to actually look into things, look into the EPR things. So here we want integration. So whereas when we talk about the management, we need
you can
to
conclude, please.
we need to work in different modes and different partnership models. So we have to think, when we are talking about the collection, how we are doing it, how we can segregate, and we have to move to the waste minimization rather than to waste management.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, just one last, ma'am, Rajeshwari ma'am, if you want to talk about what technology can be used for monitoring the waste vehicles. Yeah.
Good evening all. Actually, Integrated Command and Control Center is the platform for whatever you people and all you were talking about, all this thing. I accept on things. Even you are putting more and more effort. But where is that evidence? But we are taking the decision support, no? That evidence, proof, decision making, real time data, and citizen engagement platform. And because we are not dealing with only the official. So the ICCC once, because in all other city, I think you people and all will be having in your city ICCC, but you are not utilizing. You have to optimize it. This is the exact amazing platform. You can avail all the data, that is integration, that is the thing, real-time data. You are all talking about air quality index, AQI. How do you feel? I cannot visualize it. But the system proven data, evidence proven data, once if you have that, you can do lot of things. And not only for this, that all the solid waste, I want to talk about that solid waste management. In our Chennai ICCC, we have integrated various 22 dashboards, 22 department dashboard, that is 22 department data set integrated along with the KPI. For example, is the primer, that is a solid waste management is the hectic for that the city municipal administration. So in that case, n number of vendors are involved in that solid waste management. So the people, as our JC, Joint Commissioner, he cannot find the time to catch all that vendors. Varieties, so many people are there. Where he has to find the attendance, then where is the real-time data? I cannot ask my subordinate people. They may manipulate the data. Instead of giving 100, they may give 1,000. So you want to have the real-time data. Then only you can provide that proper government. And not only for that, we have various IoT device, real-time data. You can visually, you can see that. You can sit in one place. In that way, we have create, I think it's taking too much of time, but only one point that ICCC better, I request all of you, better you sit in that ICCC, ask your people to develop the application that is not only for the city administrator, the political also, even the public also, they can visualize that each and everything in that place itself. And nowadays we are introducing AI also, that so many things are there. There is no time at all. Already the thing is over. But my kind request for door-to-door collection to till the dumping yard, we CNT waste, biomining and biosec, everything. What is our integration? What is our inward? What is our process? What is our outward? Everything is and not only for that, for each and every vendor that we have given that KPI based on the KPI. So he need not to see the entire dashboard. So when you see our dashboard itself, automatically it gives that whosoever is deviating the KPI, that normally he can force that particular people, the particular vendor, even for the penalty, every month or quarterly or annually you are paying the amount. You need not to calculate manually. You cannot believe the people nowadays. So once if you press the button, automatically the penalty amount also based on their work, the penalty amount automatically within a second you will be getting it. So that is, you can minimize the time, you can get real-time data, and you can visualize all the data along with the citizen engagement platform. So many IoT device also is there, and all you know that the GPS vehicle tracking and that IoT, the camera and rain gauge and even littering the garbage, you can on the spot you can penalize the people, public. So this is what my kind request, and all of you better you can utilize, you can optimize that integrated command and controls center functionality. This is my kind request. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, ma'am, for that very strong point. And now I hand over to Jaya. Thanks a lot. Jaya is our executive director of urban development and various work areas. Please, over to you.
Just use this, I guess. All right. So I'm going to just in a nutshell summarize what I heard today and, what are some of the ways in which we can move forward. And I'll pick up from the point that you left off at is basically data and evidence and using ICCC. So I think the point about, who is burning, what is getting burnt, where is it getting burnt, how much is getting burnt, right? I think that is an absolute starting point for any waste problem or any problem that we are going to solve in our city. So that's number one. I have 7 points. I'll go through it quickly. Second is, I think there's the need to correct perverse incentives. So when we're talking about collection contracts, disposal contracts, there are perverse incentives built in terms of weight that you collect for and the way in which you dispose. I think those perverse incentives need to be corrected through proper contractual systems. The third is that segregation, and I think you made the point, sir, is an absolute non-negotiable. Unless you segregate, everything downstream is not going to work. Anything downstream is not going to work. So segregate, and I think ways in which we can do that is what we need to think about. That brings me to the fourth point is how do you get people to segregate the awareness that you spoke about, through campaigns, by giving recognition, like how do you kind of give recognition to the people who are doing this well? I think that's very important. I think another point that was made was, how do you kind of use data to make visible things like impact on children's health, impact on the health of the communities and the populations living near waste dumps. So how do you create awareness around that, campaigns? And I think that modality is important. The fifth one is that, in terms of funding, how do you bring money to the problem? We had a very interesting case. Chennai talked about, the way that they brought convergence in NCAP and SPM funding. You spoke about blended finance. So basically, how do we bring money to the problem by convergence of various kind of funding sources and private capital as well? The sixth point is really about the need for dialogue around this. The cities that are doing well, that have achieved something, how do you create peer-to-peer learning platforms? And this is something that WRI and other organizations can come in to say that, how do you create platforms for exchange and learning so that what's happening in one city catches up and, it spreads around. The final point is really around a lot of what I heard in the beginning, that we pick up our waste, and in cities, the common practice is take the waste, dump it in the outskirts, dump it in the peripheries. The reason for that, the underlying reason is governance, because RLBs, rural local bodies, don't have the mandate for waste management. So it's easy for us living in the cities to just dump it there, make it somebody else's problem and walk away. And we make it the problem of people who have the least capacity, least resources and no mandates to deal with that issue. So I think the final thing that I would like to say is we really need to think about our planning frameworks and the ways in which governance is happening so that these transitional areas don't pay the price of the consumerism which is happening in cities. And towards that, what are the kind of planning frameworks, regional planning frameworks, local planning frameworks that we can create to address this problem? So those were kind of the learnings and a lot of what we heard here today, and that's kind of the summation of it. So thank you very much for being here.
Thanks a lot, Jaya. Thanks, everyone. We can move for coffee.
Requesting everyone for the photo, a group photo, please. There.